Hello and welcome to this tutorial, which is looking at Premiere Pro CS Next, and it's just a simple tutorial just to show you that there are some changes in the timeline panel, and the changes in the timeline panel are how it looks and the way the headers work and how things are actually looking. So for instance, you can see here this audio waveform looks completely different to how it did in Premiere Pro CS6. Now if you want to make a track bigger or smaller, you've got a couple of options. Like before, you can click and drag to make something smaller or larger, but if you're actually in the header and you use the wheel of your mouse, you can make it bigger or smaller simply by scrolling, which is actually quite useful. So here we have the waveform for the audio, and you can see that it's basically just showing us from the middle upwards. Now previously, and it's actually changed or controlled from the panel menu over here, previously it was a different look. This is now called rectified audio waveform. If I undo that, that's the previous look that we had. And now in the new look, they've gone for rectified audio waveform. Now from my experience, I've been using rectified audio waveform in another application for a while now. I find it actually slightly easier to work with, if I'm honest. So you'll get used to it after a while. You can still make changes, you can still edit it in the same way. It's just a different way of viewing things. Also, if you want to open and close the audio waveforms and you want to do them as a group, if you hold the Alt key and use the plus and minus keys, which are the two keys to the right of the 0 on your normal keyboard, you'll see that as you start clicking them, they're going to expand or contract all of the tracks together for audio. So Alt will expand and contract to desired with multiple tappings. So the more you tap it, the more it will grow or go down. If you hold the Control key, sorry, I don't want to solo that track. If you hold the Control key or the Apple key on a Mac, and you do the same plus and minus, you'll see that that does the video tracks, and they'll expand or contract as you desire. To do them all together as a toggle, so expand all tracks, minimize all tracks, you hold the Shift key plus to grow them, Shift key minus to shrink them. So it's just simple toggles to use keyboard shortcuts to get to these tracks and really open them up as quickly or as slowly as you like. Multiple taps. So that's looking at those. So if I actually look at a few headers here, I'm going to open up the header, you'll see that you've got a header that looks different to the previous headers, and some of the functionality from the headers has been moved to other places. So you'll see that there's not an awful lot in this header, and when you right click on it, you do have the option to rename, add tracks, delete tracks as you would before. You've got customize, but customize just allows you to add or remove items. So let's say for argument's sake I didn't want the keyframe navigator here. What I could do is I could take it and drop it and let go, take it and drop it and let go, take it and drop it and let go. And now the keyframe navigator will have gone for all of my video tracks. So when I click OK, you'll see that none of them have got keyframe navigators. If I right click and customize again, I can reset layout and it's back to how it was. Okay, so any changes you make will affect all the tracks, but not all the options that we previously had are here. But notice that we've now got a spanner icon. When you click on the spanner icon, you'll see that you've got show video thumbnails, show video keyframes. Many of the different options that we had before have actually been moved to here, including you can actually customize the headers here as well if you like. So many of them have actually been moved to this point. Some of them are still available through the panel menu. So for instance, we want a work area bar, or we want to show audio time units because we want to move in audio time. So you'll see that you've got some of these different bits and pieces, including video head and tail, video head, continuous video thumbnails, which was in the header before. So just bear in mind that they could be moved to the panel menu, or they could be moved to the spanner icon. You need to check out both of them. One of the things that hasn't really changed on the audio is you still have this button here, which is for the keyframe option, so you can show for either clips or tracks. It's as simple as that. Do you want to see clip keyframes? Do you want to see track keyframes? So you've just got the two options, which makes it an awful lot simpler to work with. So I'm going to click away and Shift minus to shut that down. You've also got a couple more options, which I'm not going to go into, but if I click this timeline display settings, you'll see that you've actually got something here that says show duplicate frame markers. Show through edits. I'm not going to go through these, but I want you to see that they are actually there in CS Next. Things that people have been crying out for a very long time. You've got save presets, you've got manage presets, and we've got one other button here. And if I hover over it, it says insert and override sequences as nests or individual clips. Again, this is something that people have asked for a long time. By clicking this switch, you can actually bring things in either as a nest or you can bring in the individual items from the nest straight into the timeline as you require. Okay, so minor changes down here for audio. Obviously audio, you've got mute track is now the green button, solo track is now the orange button, but there's not an awful lot of difference otherwise that you shouldn't be able to work out very quickly for yourself. You've obviously got sync lock and you've obviously got the eyeballs. So that's a quick look at the CS Next timeline panel with its new spanner icon and lots more options. And remember that other things have actually moved over here to the panel menu, including the work area bar. I've mentioned that before, but some people still like to work with work area bars. So if you want to work with the work area bar, you can switch it on here and actually move from there. You can even, by the way, turn off your ruler as well, so you can turn off your time ruler and basically have absolutely nothing if you want. So I'm just going to turn mine back on at the moment. Well, I hope you found that useful and you're looking forward to Premiere Pro CS Next. There's been some other great changes and I think you're going to find it even smoother and more powerful than before. Thanks for watching.